All right. Well, here we are at it on a Walker County Federal Credit Union Wednesday. I like it because the W's flow together. Walker County Federal Credit Union Wednesday. It is always a blast to be here. I was thinking for a minute, is it Wednesday? Yes, it is. We want to welcome you in. Thank you for hanging out with us as we get rolling on another episode of Good Morning Huntsville. It is episode number 611 as we continue on promoting and celebrating the good. And you know, this morning I'm so thankful because we are joined by so many wonderful nonprofits and organizations who just do such great work in our community. And we're all about promoting the good. And one of the best here in our community is, in 3, 2, 1, there she is, Miss Tracy Stoudt. Also, Melissa Kimbrough joining us this morning. So welcome in, ladies. Good to see you, Tracy.
It's good to be here.
Thank you for hanging out and waiting on me this morning. You know, it was another fun morning. You know, I pray. I was talking to my pastor yesterday. You know, sometimes you just got to go talk to your pastor. And
sometimes you do.
So I said, Jason, I need to talk to you, man. I said, brother, I am praying. I'm praying harder than I've ever prayed. I'm praying at night. I'm praying in the morning. I'm praying throughout the day. I'm praying on Sunday. And I said, but man, it just feels like there's all this tension still. And I'm not saying it in a negative way. And you know what he said? He said, keep praying. Keep praying. Sometimes we're in a season for a reason. We're always in a season for a reason. But I believe that, you know, if we're going through battles, and, you know, there's a lot of stresses, and people know I'm very transparent. I don't spill out the whole, you know, I don't pour out the whole bucket of water, but there's a little bit of water I don't mind pouring out. I think it's okay to do that, especially as a Christian. You know, I don't hold back from a lot of things, and you know, it's tough right now because my wife, she's got an incredible job. She just got a glaring review from Creekside, so we're very thankful for that. She has worked so hard, but it's tough because she's putting in these supposed to be 12-hour shifts. They end up being about 14 hours, and so a lot of times, you know, I'm taking the little ones and picking them up, and I enjoy doing that. It's not easy, and I've had numerous people tell me, well, I used to do this and that, and I was like, you know, every child's different though, and this was one of those different mornings for us, these last 2 mornings, but especially this morning. But I chose today. I said, you know what, I'm not even going to get better. I stress out because of the pressure of, and I know you're super laid back, but there's still pressure because I want to make sure that I'm here for our sponsors. I want to make sure that we get this thing going early for folks that are waiting to be on the show. You know, and I know you're super easy going and it didn't bother you one way or the other, but it stresses me because I try to be on time. When my wife's off and the kids are home with her, I'm early. I'm here an hour early. You know, it feels like. But I chose something this morning, and I want to say this because maybe you're in the same boat sometimes where you feel the weight of this world on you. Everything is going to be all right. Don't worry about it.
That's exactly right. You know, it's called seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever know what that season means, and you don't know what you're going to see at the end of the season, but you grow through a season. And even in what we do for our business, you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
They may make it look like everything's all right, but then either A, they're just faking it, or B, they're just trusting God.
Yeah.
And you don't ever know what you say, how it's going to affect somebody. So, you know, you just go through seasons, and you'll look up and they'll be 25 and it'll be a different season.
Yeah.
They're just seasons all the time.
Well, I appreciate you, Tracy. You didn't know you were going to come on this morning and start giving a sermon, you know, so appreciate you.
You know, I'm ready to
Come
go
on.
any day.
We're going to throw it down. We're going to throw it down with surround sound, sister. But no, it is good. I'm so glad to have you here and so glad to have Melissa. We're going to bring her on in just a second. I want to welcome you all in. Thank you for hanging out with us here on another very wonderful Wednesday, as always brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union, your full-service community credit union. They've been serving Walker County since 1957. And we wouldn't be able to have folks like the SAAFE House on here if it wasn't for their generous support. Also, the very generous support of Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. I mention Elliot every morning. He helped me get this platform started over 3 years ago now. Don't seem like it, but Elliot has been such an integral part of what we do here behind the scenes and also throughout the community, supporting many organizations such as SAAFE House and many others. And we appreciate all that he does. Again, Elliot Herzlich, Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com. Well, we are here. We're talking SAAFE House because Friday, big event coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. We get to hang out over at the Cafe Texan. So.
We sure do. You know, this month for October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so everywhere you see us, you'll see us usually in purple, but that's kind of the color for domestic violence. it's a shame that we have to have a month to bring awareness about it, but we do.
Yeah.
And so we have chosen October to do our Jill and Bill. We have a good time with community members. It gets the name out there. We're amazed at how many people still don't know about Safe House and what we do and where we are. And so we are consciously trying to get that message out.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, let's pass the baton real quick, if you don't mind. Melissa Kimbrough is now with you guys, and Melissa's. I used to have a horn. You know, I lost the horn a year ago. I don't know what happened to it, but we used to blow a horn when you were. Did you ever get the horn when you were on as a guest? So I lost the horn during the move. So no horn this morning, but we do want to welcome you, Melissa
Thank you
Kimbrough.
so much.
With
Thank
Safe
you.
House. I used to joke and say, tell us everything except your social security number, but I'm just kidding. But let us know a little bit about maybe your journey to Huntsville, and we'd just like
Sure.
to get to know you a little bit, if that's okay.
Absolutely. I am kind of a transplant, so to speak. I'm born and raised in Texas. My extended family is from this area. So in '89, when I graduated from high school, I moved up here to be with my grandmother. Went to Sam Houston State.
Awesome.
Left for a short while and decided this was kind of going to be the place that I wanted to be. Started my professional career, if you will, with the Chamber of Commerce. So I'm familiar with the Fair on the Square, and I was a program coordinator there. And then went on to TDCJ and did 25 years there, retired in April, and decided to take a different shift, if you will, in my career and join the Safe House. And I've been extremely happy, and it's very fulfilling. I'm excited about the things that we're doing over there. So right now, as far as my duties are concerned, my focus right now is on the resale shop. The name is now This and That, reloved and rejuvenated.
Oh, I love it.
So we're transforming the space a little bit to make sure that we better serve our community and our customers. But always, we couldn't do any of that without our donations. Absolutely. And just so that everybody knows and is aware, everything that comes into the Safe House stays within the Safe House community. It provides funding for our services that we provide our clients. And so I can't stress that enough. We want to make sure that people do know where proceeds go, because, again, it stays within the Safe House community within our 4 counties.
Yeah, well, that's so good, Melissa. I'm so glad to have you again, Melissa
Thank you so
Kimbrough.
much.
Yeah, you bet. One thing I wanted to say, now let me finish what I'm saying, because this is where the media clips out certain things and it don't sound good, okay? People in Huntsville, y'all always lie, okay? Now, hold on. See this? This could be clipped wrong. But Melissa over here said, I graduated high school in 1989. People lie about their age all the time. She really graduated in 99. There ain't no way that lady graduated in 89. So thank you for lying to us.
I promise that, but you know, it's kind of a funny. I'm actually related to Dr. Thomas Cole.
Oh, okay.
And he told me, even back when I moved up here, that he said, you're always going to have great skin. And I said, well, okay, how do you know that? Well, you just are. It's in the genes.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
keep drinking water, lots of water. But trust me, it's in the genes. So, but thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate the compliment.
You bet.
But yes, I did graduate in 1989.
I joke we have a sweet lady. She's watching this morning. I know she is. It's here at the church, and I think Molly's 82 now. And when I first met her, I said, Molly, there ain't no way you're 82. I said, you're 60. I said, you need to quit lying. And that is what Huntsville's known for. Is people always say that all these, but I said, people in Huntsville are a lot younger than what they act like. So there you go. So that's my comment this morning. So it's just my way of trying to butter up, you know. So, but thank you for being here, Melissa.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, let's shift back over to
Sure.
Tracy.
Yes,
Tracy, I wanted to talk really important. You know, we always have a lot of fun, but there is a very serious side to what y'all do, and you know, unfortunately, domestic abuse is very, very real, and it is very prevalent. It's very real all across. It's not limited to a specific area. It's not limited to one demographic. It happens across the board. You guys exist for a very important reason, and that's why events that are coming up on Friday are so important, because you need funding. You've got to have ways to give back and to help these ladies, and some men, but primarily ladies. You've got to have a way to help them and their families and their children through what is easily some of the most hardest times that they've ever had to go through. Maybe talk a little bit more about that importance and kind of lead up to what's going to be happening on Friday.
Okay. First of all, there are no socioeconomic barriers to domestic violence. That's the big piece. It can happen to absolutely anyone. You could be an attorney, a doctor's wife. You could be a teacher. You could be anybody, and this could happen. And in the day and time in which we live, the stressors are so high. You know, we have a move of a revival in our nation. That's
Amen.
apparent at this point. But the stress is still there, and the unknowns. You know, there's peace coming to other countries, but we're still living it day to day. I see small businesses struggle every single day, and you don't realize that you take that home. You know, and then a short answer turns into a massive argument. And abuse is not just somebody hitting you. That's the thing people don't understand. Abuse is mind games. It's those things where you think you're stupid, but you're really not, but somebody's telling you that you are, you know, or they lock you in your room. That's just abhorrent to me. I can't even fathom that.
Good night.
You know, or the thing that happens to your children as you're watching that take place. So that's called secondary abuse. And those kiddos carry that for the rest of their lives. I went on a call at the hospital yesterday with 2 kids. And they were 6 and 7 years old. That hurts your heart. You know, it's hard to walk through that. And then I got in my car and I got mad at myself because I wasn't crying. But it's just you have to hold it together in those instances. And then when you get away, then you realize the abuse that's out there.
Yeah. You know, it's different, Tracy. And I don't say this in a bad way to anyone that doesn't have children. I really don't. But I used to hear from people, and I said, I don't understand. Let me say it like this. It's hard to even describe, but until you have, you don't understand it until you have your own kids.
No, you don't.
And I'm telling you, what you just said brings a tear to me, and I see things on TV, and it's not that I ever glossed over it before, but it just hits different when you have your own children, because you were speaking about that. I was thinking of my 2 babies, and I said, it always comes back to. I was watching a documentary on a tornado in Moore, Oklahoma, in '99, one of the worst ever. And you know there was there was a little baby. I know this is a totally different subject, but there was a Moore, Oklahoma police officer that the baby was alive. Praise God. But that little baby was covered in dirt, and I started crying. And Braylon looked at me. She goes, "What are you crying for, Daddy?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I didn't think you were watching this." When she snuck in the room, I said, "Don't watch this."
Yeah.
But it hits different, and it hits really different when you hear about abusive situations. That these children should not have to endure anything remotely close to that. They shouldn't have to witness it, and they sure as heck should never have to be on the receiving end of it.
No, I sat there in that hospital room, and I really wanted to scoop that baby up. Like I would one of my grandkids and put him in my lap and just love on him, you know.
Yeah.
It was a heart-wrenching situation. So that's what we deal with on a regular basis. And we're all struggling on the funding side, you know, which is why we're having to do the extra fundraisers. And even our community is struggling to give. So it's not that we're appreciative of absolutely anything we get. But my grants are cut so tight, I have to have the extras just to do the groceries, you know, and the electric bills that continue to rise. And so that's why we're really working hard on the resale shop, because that helps us bring in that extra income. We squeeze out every penny in my office. It's not, we don't waste money. We don't have it to waste. And so we're rebuilding the resale shop. We're trying to get it where people can come in. We're even pricing it. So I walked in one time and we had a after 5 formal, and somebody had put a $400 price tag on it. I said, "What are you thinking? Don't ever go more than $25."
Oh, yeah.
Because there's kids in our school that are going to have proms and dances and homecoming, and they need something to wear. That's a place somebody can come and get it. And for us, any income on that is income because it's donated.
That's right.
And so we're looking for gently used items. If you're watching our Facebook feed for this and that and the Safe House as a whole, you'll see we've even been giving some things away. So we found some things that had been there for forever. We're not going to throw them out. But there are people who would like a book and they can't afford a book. So we've given some books away. We've given some puzzles away. We've priced some things lower so that we can turn it over and bring new and fresh things. So if you're wondering what we're doing, we're not wasting your donation by any shape or form. We're trying to repurpose it.
Yeah.
And so hopefully when we get through with this redo, which we're doing a ribbon cutting on the 31st, to rebrand the store and make it, we're going to have a career corner where people can come in and find clothes to go look for a job. We're going to have a kids corner where kids can play while the moms shop.
Oh, cool.
We're redoing a lot of our office space, trying to do management of our space and make it the best that we can do. We're currently looking for a counselor. Those are very hard to find in Walker County. I have an opportunity to work with a college. I'll meet with them next week, I think, trying to work with the interns.
Oh,
I've been
awesome.
trying to get with the counseling department for forever, ever since I've been at Safe House. But we need the people to help us service our clients, and that's something we currently don't have. Because a lot of times we get the LPCAs, and when they get through with their hours, then they go to Austin or Dallas or somewhere. So it's real hard to find that, but that's a piece that we need. So we're constantly working with other organizations, trying to stretch all of our benefits as far as we can go.
Well, that's good. Well, I do want to chat about the event coming up on Friday. A very important event. Before we do that, I want to stay on kind of the resale shop just for a moment, because I know Melissa's having a big part of that. Maybe let us know a little bit, just kind of what you're seeing, and how long. When did you come on? How long has it been now?
I believe I joined the Safe House probably around the middle of August.
Okay.
We started this project several weeks ago. In my former work life, so to speak, over at TDCJ, I managed their lease space all over the state of Texas. And so when I came into the Safe House, it was just kind of innate in me to say, hey, Tracy, I want to pitch these ideas to you because we can do this XYZ, security-wise, just the flow of the shop to open it up so we have visuals so that when you walk in the door, you can see anything and everything that's in there. Just to kind of refocus on some of the great items that we have. Sometimes some of those hidden treasures stay hidden for too long, so to speak. And so we're really working through the donations and making sure that we're staying current and fluent with those and priced appropriately. So I'm super excited about it. I think the ladies that have come in have been super receptive so far. So I'm going to throw my little pitch. Please come see us. Right now we're having a lot of sales. So I'm trying to post every week on Facebook through this and that to keep things kind of current, just to let people know what we've got going on. But I'm just going to say, come see us.
Yeah.
I just don't think that people really understand, or know, rather, that we're there and what we're about. So thank you so much for bringing the awareness.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you bet. Well, great. Well, I know you're doing great work and hit the ground running. When you get into an organization like Safe House, it is go, go, go. And that's good, because you don't want to be stale. There are folks who need help, and they need it right away. And y'all definitely never sit on the sidelines. It's that y'all are on the front running the offense, and it's always first and goal for y'all. So,
Right. Absolutely.
well, I'll go back over to Tracy. I know big event coming up on Saturday. We're looking forward to this event. What did I say? It's Friday. Yes, Friday. I always get ahead of myself.
That's okay.
So
Me too.
Friday. I said Friday all the time until just now. Friday coming up. Be at Cafe Texan. Let us know the details and kind of what folks can expect. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we're going to be talking back and forth. We have 2 people per hour, and we start at 9 o'clock. The last one comes on at 2. And we're going to just sit there and visit and talk about Safe House and the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But we have some good folks coming in. They've been very gracious to participate with us. And we're looking forward to having them come in and just talk about them and about what Safe House, how it affects them, or how they support it, or all of those things. So it'll be a good day to just talk and sit and visit about Safe House.
Yeah, and we'll go live, I assume, like we did last year. It was a lot of fun. We went live with the folks and that and spread awareness that way, and it was so much fun. A big thank you, by the way, to Vance Howard and Tiffany Gobble over there and the whole staff. Troy, they're so great to allow that space to be opened up for us to be there all day, for you guys to be there all day.
We appreciate it.
So it's going to be great, and I've already seen a lot of folks. Ken Holland's been posting. Dr. Shepard has been posting. We got to get them out of jail. They are locked up.
We do. Trey Wharton's going to be there.
Okay.
Bill Dalgette's going to be there. Carrie French, Greg Mathis. Chief Lunsford.
And I did see a big push yesterday
Yeah, they're finally starting to get started. So, and the fun part is Livingston is doing the same thing.
Yeah, I wanted
so
to
we
mention that.
we
Yeah.
compete back and forth during the day. I think they have 3 people an hour over there. So it's going to be. Last year I tried to run to Livingston and be here. This year I'm going to have to stay here. It's going to be a fun day. I think it's a good day for us to share stories about our successes, and to touch the hearts of people. The other thing is, we're a safe space. Someone could come through and talk to us in Cafe Texan and not even get caught.
Yeah.
So we try to have materials that have our numbers on them, things that would not look suspicious to someone. We had a lady at a coffee shop in Livingston several years ago, and a woman walked up to her at the bar where she was getting a cup of coffee, and she began to talk to her. Well, the lady realized that this woman's husband was sitting in the same coffee shop. And so she had given her card. And she got home that night and her phone rang, and it was this husband. And he said, "Can you tell me why my wife has your business card?" And Tammy, God bless her quick thinking, she said, "Oh, yeah, she was going to donate some of her kids' clothes, and she was asking me how to bring it to the resale shop."
Wow.
Well, the truth was, she was trying to figure out how to get into SAAFE House, where she wound up.
Wow.
And then we brought her over here to get her out of Livingston. And it was just a wild story. And but it touched our heart, just the way God set it up.
Yeah.
Because normally she would not have been able to even reach out to get the support. And her husband was a major person in their community in a different county. His picture was all over the county. So you knew that it was not something she could easily run away from. And the night that she ran, her husband took her keys and her wallet, and the police let them. And she came up in this big old pickup. She didn't even know how to drive. And I said, "Why are you driving that truck?" And she said, "Well, my husband took the keys to my Bentley, and so
Wow.
I stole his truck." So, you just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Wow. That's why we got to, I want to say something else too. This is why we always have to keep our eyes and ears open, friends. Don't ignore the signs. If you know, and look, if you know that there's something going on, maybe you're a friend, call the SAAFE House as a first resource. Don't try to handle some of this on your own, because you can't. And there's serious repercussions on some of that too. SAAFE House, they've been doing this for years. They know what they're doing, and they're going to make sure that it's done in a very safe, confidential way. And that's why I'm saying, if you, as a friend, I know sometimes as a friend we want to help. We want to do so many things. And people are coming at it from the right heart, but sometimes the right heart can get in the way of the way it needs to be done.
That's correct.
And so be open. Call SAAFE House first. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Maybe we have. But if you suspect that somebody is going through that abuse, call SAAFE House just so they can have it on their radar. So when that call comes, I know that y'all have so many resources to help and
We do.
to do that. And
We do.
what's that phrase? If you see something, say something.
That's right. And I went to the college not long ago and talked to a group of students. You don't realize college relationships and teen dating, and you met somebody at the bar or wherever you are, and it turns sideways. We get those phone calls, and our phones are answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so we are available for you. We had a lady come in from out of state. She's been in our shelter in the past. And she's worked the program. She's done what she's supposed to do. Her kids, we've been able to get them daycare. She now has a job in our community. She's on the edge of housing. That's what you have to do to get in and get your life turned back around. And we're just a resource to help people become successful. And it's a choice that they make. Sometimes they don't want to become successful. And so then we make room for someone else to come in. But we even have people who come from they live here in the community. They don't need our shelter services, but they need somebody to talk to, or they need a restraining order, or they need somebody to help with a divorce or child custody, or all of those things. Even sometimes it's grandparents. You just never know. My husband says to me all the time, "You can't make this stuff up." And I'm like, "No, I really can't make this stuff up. I wish that I could close my doors tomorrow and
Yeah.
retire one more time, but I don't see that happening anytime soon."
Yeah. Well, Tracy, again, I'll never stop talking about the work that y'all do and how important it is and how important it is for the community to get involved. And just like Tracy said, everybody's struggling right now. This ain't easy, especially being here. You know, I was talking, again, I'm transparent about a lot of things. I don't open up about everything, but I was talking to someone this morning on text message on my way in, one of our faithful audience members who joins every morning. And I was kind of letting her know, you know, hey, I'm going to be running a little bit late. And I was just saying there's a lot of stress in my life right now. And you know what? She had told me this, and I want to say this as some encouragement not to go off the wrong track or make anything about me, but this is for somebody else. She said, unfortunately, but fortunately, life is life. Remember to breathe. Remember to keep your eye on the end goal and let everything else slide. It will get better. It will get worse. It will get better. And I want to tell you today that if you're in a situation, in an abusive situation, let the resources, the excellent resources of Safe House help you to get better. Because I'm going to tell you, if you cling to Safe House, that cycle of it gets better, it gets worse, it gets better, it's going to be broken finally, and that it gets worse is going to be out of the equation.
Correct.
But you've got to make it. And you said something so important a while ago, and I want people to really hear this. My buddy runs a drug and alcohol recovery center. It's a beautiful facility called the Oak Ridge Disciple House. It's faith-based. And he tells guys this, and they've got over an 80% success rate in an industry to where that's under 10%. He's been doing it for 20 years. He was addicted to all sorts of drugs 20 years ago. He's been healed of that. He's been sober for 20 years, and now he mentors other men. He's been doing it for a long time. But he told me there was a guy that was one, and he'll get people from all over the world, literally. But he only allows 11 at once. He said, well, he only allows 10. He always keeps one empty bed. He always jokes that I got one bed for you, Rob. I said, brother, come on, man. He's my best friend, but he's only got those 10 beds. And he does that and they're on 50 acres. And I told him, man, you could build a huge facility. He said, no. He said, there's power in a small group. But here's what he said. He said, Rob, if that guy that you're talking to in Hunt, there was a guy, and he's not around anymore, but he was going through a lot. And I talked to him, and I said, I've got a place that you can go that's going to help you out. And he said, well, man, I'm just not ready for that. And I said, and I told him, I said, do you want to stay in this? Do you want to stay where you're at? He goes, no. I said, well, then you have to make the decision that you want this. And unfortunately, and he moved on. He's no longer in our community, but he was suffering from a lot of drug and alcohol addiction. And Josh told me, that's the first thing he told me. He said, did you talk to him? I said, yeah. And he said, did he want it? And I said, no. I said, yeah, he said that he want, but he ain't ready to make that commitment. He goes, I can't have him. And I want to encourage people today that if you're going through a situation, pray about it and pray that you see that the Lord gives you that desire to get help. You've got to get help. You have got to get help. And hear my words, because I don't know how to describe. I'm not a psychologist, but all I can say is this, that I can understand getting in a rut. I've battled depression. I know what it's like to be in that rut to where you feel like everything is against you and that nothing will work out. I know 100% about that because I've been in that rut before. But I'm going to tell you that you have to make the decision. Tracy can't make it for you. Melissa can't make it for you. I can't. Nobody else. You have to make the decision. So I'm sick and tired of this. I want out. And don't feel alone. Because a lot of times I think people are afraid to make that decision, Tracy, because they feel like they're alone. They feel like no one's going to be there with them. And I haven't been in the abusive situation, but on the depression side, I know what that's like to feel like I want to make the decision, but I can't because nobody's going to be able to walk with me. And that is a lie of the enemy. That is a lie of Satan coming into your mind saying that you can't, and he wants you to be in that place. I'm going to throw a little Jesus into this because it's the truth.
And I tell you what else, I'm going to help you.
Yeah, please. But you get what I'm saying,
my
right?
pastor says this all the time. You don't have to be perfect to come to Jesus. You don't have to have it all fixed to ask for help.
That's right.
People think they have to have it fixed before they reach out. Well, if you've already gotten there, you don't need help.
Yeah.
So if God takes you where you are, and if you're broken, God will put you back together.
Yeah.
And,
Amen.
but you have to be willing to make a choice. That's the thing. It's your will. You have to make a choice to make a change in your life and do it different. And when you step out in faith, God will meet you where you are.
That's right.
And then he'll take you to the next spot. So you don't have to come in all dressed up and ready to go. You just come to God where you are.
Just come.
And God will meet you where you are today.
That's right. I just felt that on my heart because I feel like there's somebody out there saying, I know that I need help. I know, but but I know that nobody's going to be able to walk that. They're not going to understand. They haven't been able to put themselves in my shoes. And I want to encourage you, don't let that be the lie that takes you away from getting the help that you need. Step out in faith and know that these folks are going to walk with you. And if you want it, they're going to be there to help you. Get out of that today. Make that decision right now today to say, I'm done with this. I want better for my life. That person don't deserve to be with me. And while I may have my faults, that don't matter. You know why? Because those faults, that's not an excuse for me to suffer from abuse. Get out of it. Go to Safe House.
Well, and sometimes you have to do what we call safety planning. So that's a whole new level.
Yeah.
So you come to us while whoever's beating you is at work, and you come through our office and we sit down and we visit with you. And then we tell you these are the things that you need to bring. So we've even had individuals bring their Social Security card, bring their driver's license, bring their birth certificate. We keep it in safekeeping for you. We tell you what to do to plan to get out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can't just run right that moment. Yeah. Sometimes it's so bad you have to. But sometimes you're able to come in and we'll sit and visit with you. And we give all the people that come in first a piece of paper. And we let them start checking things that apply to them. And then they sit there and they look at you with this glazed over look and they say, we didn't realize this was abuse. We didn't know that this is what that was. We just thought this is how life was. And so it works where they can come in from the outside, come in during the day. We have people that'll watch your kids while we visit with you, or they can play in the same room. We will meet you where you are, and we'll help you move from this step to the next.
Yeah. Tracy, thank y'all for what you do. I can't imagine, as you told me, having to go to the hospital and be with those babies. And I can't imagine the things that y'all see and what you have to do. And I know that there is a lot on y'all's shoulders to do what you do. But that's why we need to support this organization. These folks work really hard behind the scenes. This isn't a job that anybody wakes up in the morning and says, I can't wait to work at the Safe House. They do it because they're passionate about helping people. And I don't want that to be taken the wrong way.
Well, but
you love
what
you do.
For me, I love what I do. I graduated, listen to me, retired from TDC after 25 years. And I did some other things. And then I got into this. I wake up every day ready to go to work because I can make a difference in somebody's life today. Whether it's working with them one-on-one, or it's finding the funding to meet their needs. I can make a difference in somebody's life today. Yeah. And so that gives me a reason to get up and go to work.
Amen. That's what I meant. Sometimes my words are mixed up, but I know what I was meaning is I know that y'all are passionate about what you do.
We are. We're very passionate
because y'all want to help people. And so support them. Let's be a part of Safe House. It's an organization. When Tammy was there, I got to learn a lot more. I know Melissa's doing great work already now, and through you, Tracy, and, also through Bill Doggett, who's very passionate about the work at Safe House.
He absolutely is.
He was just chiming in. Check this out. He just said, there's my Safe House buddies right there. So
well, he's one of our buddies, too.
Yeah.
He's very supportive. And we're trying to reach out to other people in our community, people who maybe don't know what we do. I was at an event last night talking about school board, and I said something about I was wearing purple. I said, so I'm not in green. I'm in the wrong color. Sorry. I had to be at a proclamation in Livingston this morning. And this lady walked by and she said, thank you for all that you do, and they were laughing. I said, people asked me, why are you still getting back on the school board? And I was like, I've been doing this 15 years. I can't make a difference from my couch.
Yeah.
And there's 6,200 babies that need me to advocate for them on a regular basis. And the school district's wonderful. They work with us hand in hand. We can make a phone call. They help us with getting our kids on the bus, getting them into school. Because it's a requirement when ladies move in with us. They have to have their kids in school in 3 days. So that means they've got to get busy and get doing what they've got to do to get their kids enrolled. Sometimes coming from another county, that's complicated. And the school district, we just pick up the phone and they help us put them in the right place.
Right there. Wow.
And so it's partnerships that we've developed all over town with the sheriff's office, with the police department, with the DA's office, with the other nonprofits. We all work together and we share our resources.
That's good. I love it. I love what y'all do, and I love that you're so compassionate and that you're ready to help people. And today, if you want to make that step to start that process, or maybe you just want to volunteer, maybe you're watching and saying, Rob, I'm I'm not in an abusive situation, but I want to help. I want to help others. Go to the website, saafehouse.org. It's SAAFE house.org. Real quick, I want you to have the final comments, but maybe Melissa, just any final thoughts that you'd like to share with us this morning.
Absolutely. So you kind of spurred a thought a little bit. If anybody, local businesses, would like any of our information to put out and display, whether it's in some of the ladies' dressing rooms, just locations that people can, I guess, secretly, pick up a card or any information that we have, please reach out to us. We would love to give any information that we possibly can that can be shared with the community, or that might encourage or give somebody the information that they need to make that step that you've been talking about, Rob.
Great.
So we would greatly appreciate that.
You bet. Good point. So, any final comments? Been fun. Thank you for hanging out. I needed the joy this morning. I'll tell you what, Tracy brought the joy. As soon as I saw her, I said, there it is. Everything's going to be all right.
It is all going to be all right.
My old pastor down in Houston used to always say, all is well. That was his number one phrase, all is well.
My grandma liked that one, too. Yeah. And that's a good one. My grandmother's other statement, she would say, just out of the blue, is peace, peace, peace. And my other grandmother was a praying machine, and she spent probably 14 hours a day praying for people all over the world.
I love that.
And when things would get rocky, she would just say peace. And if you need to say some more, just say Jesus.
We called a lady Mama Doty down in Houston, and she would always say, "Thank you, Lord, bless him, Jesus." That was her.
She did.
That was her. Thank you, Lord, bless him, Jesus. Everywhere.
I spent many a Thanksgiving down there as a kid.
Yeah. Wow.
So God's good, and it's all going to be all right.
Amen. Well, that was a good final thought. Any other final thought? That was a good one.
We appreciate the support throughout the entire community. We're always looking for volunteers, although my volunteer coordinator would tell me not to say that at this moment. We've got about 6 interns and probably 30 students on our volunteer roster right now. But we always need them. So in different instances, we train folks to work in the shelter. We train folks to work in the resale shop. So we're constantly in need. Melissa has started something new. There's a lot of people who want to volunteer, but they work full-time jobs. So we a lot of times need heavy lifting. So we have opened opportunities for night times, a couple of nights a week, to work from 5 to 7, 5 to 8. And they help us do some things. And so that makes a big difference for us.
It does. Well, that's great. Get involved, folks. Saafehouse.org, and more information there on the website. And also keep Safe House in your prayers for a very, very successful. We're believing it's going to be the best one yet as far as fundraising for Safe House. That's Jell and Bell. We're looking forward to Friday, and we'll be going live. And we want you to hear the stories, too, from so many wonderful folks throughout the community and the great work that they're doing to help support Safe House. Tracy, you're doing an awesome job. We're so blessed to have you here in Huntsville. So
I'm glad. I've been here my whole life.
And you welcome us outsiders in with open arms.
I do. This is how, a lot of people, they run from Huntsville the minute they graduate, but they always come filtering back. It's amazing to me how that works.
We didn't run, but we kind of jogged to Fargo, and then we slothed our way back here to Huntsville because we were frozen.
Huntsville's a different place, but it's home.
It is.
And it's a beautiful community.
Well, that's right. Well, if you see Tracy around town with purple, remember that is for domestic abuse.
Violence Awareness Month.
It is not for the lumberjacks.
It is absolutely not. My closet for a long time had orange, a little bit orange, because that don't look good on me, but orange and maroon and green. That's my colors. And then I've had to put that purple in there, but it works.
Yeah, it works wonderful. Well, there she is again, and we appreciate Tracy Stoudt, Executive Director over at Safe House, also Melissa Kimbrough with us today. Go online, find out more information, and keep them in your prayers. Again, we're believing for a big day on Friday to help provide resources, more additional resources above and beyond that go to help out Safe House. Thank you all again so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
You bet. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. I got a little inspiration for you as we wrap it up on the show, and we will continue promoting the good. And we couldn't have great folks like Tracy and Melissa here if it wasn't for our friends at Walker County Federal Credit Union. I've got all my accounts there except one. And the only reason I don't is because I have business partners in Austin, and so it's kind of hard to get all of us together. But they even said we can handle that because we can do it all digitally now. So go online, find out more information, Walker County FCU. They have been serving this county since 1957. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. And during that break, comment in. Let us know what you're thankful for this morning. We want to see some encouragement, and we want you to spread the good news about what's happening in your life so you can inspire others. Let us know what you're thankful for this morning. We'll take a break. More to come. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville, from homes and hospitals to prison walls. That's the heart of Spirit Radio. We're a truly local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're raising $25,000 to build our tower and get on the air. With your help, we'll broadcast encouragement, truth, and the love of Christ across our community and across the world through the Spirit Radio FM app. Visit spiritradio.fm and give today. Let's bring light to Huntsville and beyond together.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Billy Cawthon of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit 94.3.
All right, back at it, Huntsville, as we continue on promoting and celebrating the good here in our community today. Hey, I'm kind of over to the side. I'm going to adjust the camera real quick. As I'm rolling solo today, we want to welcome you back in. Let's see if this works. I need to get one of those PTZ cameras. Those are the ones that you can like control with a joystick and move them around. Hey, as we are waking up this morning, another beautiful day here in our community. I always love talking about how great things are here in East Texas and right here in Huntsville. 61 degrees this morning as you are awake today. 84% humidity. This winds out of the north, though, and so not bad as we have north winds blowing today. Keeping it a little bit cool, but I do want to say this. It will be a little warm today. Not too bad, though. How about this? The mid-80s today. Mid-80s is where we're going to be today. Tonight, 61 and clear. Tomorrow, 86, mostly sunny. Rain back in the forecast for the weekend. So make sure if you got plans this weekend, Saturday, 30% chance. Maybe just carry a little umbrella with you, and you'll be all right. Well, hey, every once in a while, I like to highlight some kind of off-the-wall stories. And this one came out of Amarillo, Texas. First and foremost, I got to ask you this. To make this story, to put it into context, do you do any yoga? Does anybody out there do yoga? I have a friend who's a yoga instructor, one of my broadcast friends, a close, really best friend, and he's into yoga. He's done it. He says it's one of the greatest things you can do. It relaxes you and all that. Well, I want to read you a story real quick. Here's when pigs went to yoga in Texas. All right, so listen to this. In Amarillo, Texas, earlier this year, a yoga studio decided to spice up their regular practice by inviting many pigs to join in. And this wasn't really as participants, but as adorable sidekicks. Walking among all the people, they call them the yogis, snuffling around mats, occasionally nudging a hand or snuffling at toes. Yes, pigs, my friends. The studio had hosted great yoga before, or goat yoga before. That's a thing also, goat yoga. And thought, why not? Let's bring in the pigs. The pig yoga event was meant to be quirky, maybe a little fun, but it had a great cause. It was to help raise funds for a local animal rescue. Now, good news for the yogis, the pigs were friendly. They were well-trained, about as well-trained as you could train a pig, and seemed to enjoy the attention as much as pigs could enjoy attention with yoga, we presume. Participants described the experience as maybe unexpectedly delightful. The little oinks, the gentle snorts, the pigs settling by people as they stretched into downward dogs or pigeon poses. It became a conversation starter, obviously, for this yoga studio and for anyone who was a part of it about compassion for animals, yes, about creativity in community events, and about stepping outside your comfort zone. Because striking a yoga pose while a pig tries to crawl into your lap, definitely outside of most people's comfort zones. The event, by the way, sold out quickly, raised a great amount of funds for the local animal rescue there in Amarillo. People from across the city committed to come, some bringing friends, some just curious. The funds raised went to help those spay and neuter programs at those animal clinics, vet care, and food for rescued animals in the region. So there you go, a little story to cheer you up this morning. The Great Pig Yoga in Amarillo, Texas. And I was trying to find some photos of this, and I have a couple of them, but I cannot share them this morning because I don't have that. But the folks here said the pig yoga was a success. Maybe I can. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to do it this way. This is just absolutely nuts. Hold on. Let's do this. If you're listening this morning on Spirit Radio, obviously you're not going to be able to see this. I can do this through my phone. This is not an AI-generated image. You know, we live in a world now to where that's so prevalent. But there you go. There is the Kyle Kreiner. If you're watching this morning, I know that you'll like this. There's your pig yoga that was so great there in Amarillo, Texas. Boy, what people will do just to get a I don't know what you get out of that. All right, friends, I wanted to go over a couple of other things here this morning before we wrap up. You know, every day I get show prep from an organization that sends us some really good stuff. Some of it's kind of quirky, and some of the jokes in it are pretty dry humor. It's nothing that's really good. But they do send a lot of really good information, too. A lot of it is kind of on this day stuff. And typically a lot of what we've had recently has been about, our country and the founding of our country. Especially when you get around July, you start getting a lot of that. But I wanted to read this one. This is kind of neat here. That it was on this date in 1783. Pilatre de Rozier became the first man to fly in a tethered balloon. So you think about hot air balloons. You don't see, what's one thing in Huntsville that I have not seen flying around here, hot air balloons. When I was in Georgetown where I grew up, we saw them all the time flying over. But that was on this date, 1783, the first tethered balloon. It was also on this date in 1951. I used to watch this show growing up. I Love Lucy premiered on CBS. Pretty neat. A total of only 180 episodes now. And you think about shows now going for longer, it seems like, than 180 episodes. But there was so much crammed in those 180 episodes over the years. It was really neat. But I Love Lucy premiering on CBS 1951. Boy, this is kind of crazy. In 1965, a draft card was burned in public for the very first time. Nobody really knew at that point what would happen from that. But it was, the draft was a big thing back then, and thank the Lord that we don't have to do that anymore unless something came up. But 1965, someone burned their draft card in public. And it was also, check this out, for all of you daddies out there, or mamas, 1988, the baby carriage pushing record was set. All right, somebody pushed a baby carriage. I would hope and pray the baby was not in this thing. The record was set at 350 miles in 24 hours. Now, I got to figure out how that happened. There's no way that I don't think anybody could walk 350 miles in 24 hours. I don't know. But needless to say, the babysitter really got a really good tip on that. Hey, today is a few things, too. It's National Global Hand Washing Day today, National Cheese Curd Day, National Pharmacy Technician. If you got to go to Walgreens, H-E-B, CVS, or any of the local pharmacies, tell your pharmacist happy National Farmer Technician Day today. It is also National I Love Lucy Day, and a really important day to do. It's National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. We have a really good friend, Chrissy Cogdell from First Touch Family, who helps folks when they are dealing with child loss. And this is a really important day to kind of circle around that as well. If you can support that organization, I highly encourage it. It's World Student Day, and then for many of you, it's your favorite day. It's National Grouch Day today, so feel free to grouch away if you want to on National Grouch Day. You can do a bit. Here's what you can do. You can nominate your favorite grouch, or why don't you take pictures of your favorite grouch and then post it on social media. Just put a hashtag on there, MyGrouch. Put a picture of your favorite grouch on social media this day. By the way, Global Hand Washing Day, as I mentioned, if you shake hands with someone, go wash your hands. Use plenty of soap. 95% of people do not wash their hands properly after going to the bathroom. That is according to a study by Michigan State University researchers. I think that was already known. It takes 15 to 20 seconds of hand washing, by the way, to kill disease causing germs, but most people only wash their hands, forget this, just 6 seconds. That includes restaurant workers. Improper hand washing contributes to, check this out too, nearly 50% of all foodborne illness outbreaks is because of inconsistent or improper hand washing. Man, can you believe that? Amazon, by the way, a few things you need to know today to help finish up your morning. Amazon going to hire 250,000 part-time, full-time, and seasonal holiday workers nationwide. Amazon hiring 250,000 workers as we gear up for another holiday season. That is really, really cool. That I thought that was pretty cool that we got some jobs here from Amazon. And I think we have something in Conroe for Amazon. I'm not 100% sure on that. A couple of did you knows also. A survey found, you don't need a survey for this, it takes a female 45% longer than men to order from a menu. I give my wife a hard time about that all the time. 80% of NFL players go broke within 3 years of retirement. So if you're playing in the NFL, you don't invest your money. I mean, there's a good chance. There's a couple of guys that I knew that played in the NFL that are in that category now, unfortunately. I know of a couple of guys that have done very, very well. A red Solo Cup is a popular U.S. souvenir for visiting Europeans. So if you have a European friend coming to visit, give them a red Solo cup. They will enjoy that. That's what they like there. And then also, the average person will move about 11 times in their life. So there you go, a few things you need to know. Hey, one other thing that you need to know, we're really proud about this, by the way, our Hello Huntsville app, I mentioned it the other day, has been put on the Google Android, the Play Store. Well, some even better news, because I know many of you are iPhone users. That app is now available on the iOS store. We are aware of a few bugs. We knew there was going to be. We did extensive testing on quite a bit of the apps, but we still have a few bugs that some of you have discovered, that just things that we weren't aware of. But the app functionality is there. It works great. There are a few things that we're working on to improve. One of them is for our good coin scanning on the iOS app. But if you download our Hello Huntsville app, what's really cool about it is like this show. If you go on there, it says that we're live right now. You can see the little red tag, and all you got to do is tap on that. It's going to take you directly to our YouTube feed of where that show is live right now, and so you'll be able to join us. So that is now on the app. It's really cool. And also, all of our local news, events, stories, all of that is there. The best way to download the app, I'm going to send a link here on the chat. We've already had 44 people. Check that out. 44 people have already downloaded our app. And the best way to do it is go to, I've set it up under HelloHuntsvilleTX.com/app. I believe that should redirect you. Let me double check and see if that works. Nope, that does not work. So I lied to you. I'm going to put a different link here. It's a one link, but that one link is going to take you, if you're on Apple, it'll take you, or if you're on iPhone, it'll take you to the iOS app. If you are on Android, it'll take you to the Android app. If you're just on a PC, it's going to just take you to the website. But there's the link. We just put it up. It's onelink.to, onelink.to /5YHSGP. I know that's a long thing, so it doesn't really mean much. Just search for it in the App Store. Type in Hello Huntsville. And if you're on Apple, you'll have to scroll a little bit because we're so new. You've got to scroll through some stuff. But you'll see the green screenshots. Download the app and give us your feedback as we continue to promote more good. One thing, Kyle Kreiner, the Brisketeer, he's leading, by the way. We have a whole reward system now where we're giving away prizes. And a big shout-out to Deborah Wyan. She has provided a beautiful gift basket this fall from Steadfast Keepsakes. That's another prize that we're giving away alongside some stuff from Cafe Texan. One really cool thing about the app is you can connect and you can earn experience and do so much. Kyle Kreiner is leading the board right now. But Jason Thompson, if you're watching, Jason completed his pre-planning over at the funeral home. He did. He completed it, and he earned 500 XP. And so that's the whole thing. We want to drive people to local business through the app and through our website now. And so you'll gain what we call experience doing different things around town and connecting with different businesses, and that experience will be worth something. So make sure you download our app so we can keep you plugged into the best happening here in Huntsville. Well, friends, that'll wrap it up. Big thank you, as always, to Tracy Stoudt and also Melissa Kimbrough for joining us today. That was so great to have them on to be here and talk about Safe House. A lot happening. Fall festival events getting underway. You can go to our website, or better yet, download our app, tap on the events section, and you'll be able to see all the great things happening here in Huntsville. Steph Valley asked, when is it going to rain? We had the weather report earlier. Looks like rain will be coming in this weekend, but only a 30% chance, Steph, so you'll be all right. Well, that'll wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure to join us here. Pastor Jason Bay will be with us from First Baptist as we celebrate a Thankful Thursday tomorrow. And also, Pedro Gomez will be joining us. Pedro is with the BSM Baptist Student Ministries, and we're excited to have Pedro on tomorrow to share a little bit about his testimony and his story. So lock back in, learn more about people in our community and what they're up to by watching our show. As I end every broadcast, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We're really not. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, friends. Lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there this morning needs you. Until then, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you back at it tomorrow, hopefully at 7:30. So long, everyone. Have a blessed day.